Okay, um, so I wanted to do this video today. I was looking at a pastor, and he was talking about if you're a friend of Yahuwah, and how friends tell other friends about their friends. How as a friend you talk to, especially if you have a good friend, you talk to people about your friend. This friend's done this, they've done this, they've been that, they've helped me with this, you know. And he was saying, do you, one of the characteristics of knowing whether you're a friend of Yahuwah is that you talk to other people about him. And I was immediately convicted because while I'm on a journey to try to learn more about the Bible, and as I've said in a previous video, I don't feel like I'm there yet as far as sharing that experience with someone just yet. I do have life experience, and how Yahuwah, my Father, has delivered me from some things, and I can't sit here on it when someone may need it. So that's what this video is about this morning. So the first thing I want to say is that trauma makes you more susceptible to accepting the abominations of the world. It does. When you've had a past history of trauma, when things have happened in your life, like as a child or whatever, you have wounds. You have wounds, unhealed wounds. And so, and then, the world can come then and hand you things that are lopsided, that are not, of the Father. And because or for me, because I was broken and mismanaged and hurt and had these unhealed things, the enemy operates. That's his operation. He operates on that. That is how he gets most of us, is through some past hurt. And the past hurt of my childhood, to some degree allowed, what the world was spewing as far as abominable relationships for me to accept it and say it was okay. So yeah, I allowed the world to tell me that it was okay for men to be with men and for women to be with women. And I accepted that and even went into that type of relationship for, I don't know, for maybe about a year. Yeah, like I said, some childhood trauma where some things had happened with a woman, an aunt of mine, kind of opened that door. And then, like I said, from some other traumas from childhood, the door just, the world just burst the door wide open, and I just allowed it. Even though I was raised in the church. I was raised in the church, and knew what relationships were right and what relationships were wrong. But like I said, trauma allows the enemy a way in. So yeah, I entered into a relationship with a woman, and I was with a woman for a good year, I think, something along those lines. Yeah, and it was an abominable relationship. It was an abominable relationship. The Bible mentions doing things that aren't convenient. How women begin to do things that aren't convenient, because that's not how women are made, and how men begin to do things and look at the wrong. Women look at women and men look at men, and yeah, it's a spirit that men with men, it's a spirit. It's a spirit of homosexuality. Women with women, it's also a spirit. It's a spirit of homosexuality. And I had to say, yes, I had a spirit of homosexuality on me for a little while. And I had to pray. I've had to pray to this very day for for continued release. I had to pray for it to be released from me. And then I've had to pray to this very day for continued release and or rebuke or bind the attempt of spirits to come back on me that are abominable. But I want to say that Yahuwah, our Father in heaven, He's faithful. He is faithful. You know, He is faithful. And I've not been in that kind of relationship for years. Yeah, I've not been in that type of relationship for years. But I did. I had to drag my abominable self. I had to drag myself with my sins, with my bags of sins, and get down at His feet and tell Him what He already knew, what He already knew, but admit it, confess it, and ask Him to, remove things from me. And like I said, to this very day, I still have to rebuke things and ask and denounce things and not come into agreement with different spirits. But they can be removed. They can be removed, and it's not on my own strength that I've done anything. It's because of the Father and His grace and mercy, which I've never deserved. I've never deserved the things He's released me from. But He has released me, and that's just what I wanted to tell you. I wanted to talk to anyone who is in that lifestyle and let you know that you can be delivered. If you go before the Father in all honesty and repent and ask for that spirit to be removed, it can be removed. And I'm here as a living witness. We're supposed to testify of things that Yahuwah has done for us, how the things He's done. When I was a mess. I was a mess. If only you knew. My life has been jacked up a mess. But Yahuwah, He's faithful. He is faithful. When we come to Him in humility and humble ourselves and submit ourselves to Him and confess what we've done and confess what we've been, and He's faithful. And I just wanted, I feel like I need to testify more about the things that He's brought me out of. That's definitely one of the things. So yes, this is for any woman, any man, in a relationship that the Father has said is not acceptable. And homosexuality is not acceptable. It's in the Bible. It is an abominable relationship. And I've had to go before the Father. I've had to repent. I've cried out to Him. I've been honest, and beg Him to forgive me. Beg Him to remove that spirit, and then to walk in His light. So yeah, my name is. I'm glad you were able to stop in to see this video. I hope it's helpful or beneficial to someone. And like I said, I just felt like someone needed to hear it. I've been sitting on things people need to hear. We're in the last days, and people need to know that some of these things that they're under, these spirits and things that ahead of it, because everything is a spirit. It's a spirit. Anything that we think is like depression, anxiety, anger, all these things are spirits. The Father, when He formed me in my mother's womb, none of that stuff was on me. None of that stuff. Those are spirits that come and attach themselves to us. And it's spiritual warfare that we then have to go into to release ourselves from some of these things. And I just need to tell you that it is entirely possible to be released. Through and with the Father's help, and through Yahusha, as begging the Father to cover that sin under Yahusha's blood and to free you of it, removing, separating you from the iniquity of that sin. So okay, thank you for being here. I will certainly be back. You have a good day.